So you were saying we were supposed to find him, and you erased him, but then released back what was erased.
You see, so it was interesting. So this is why I first started looking into this. So he had contracted me, like 2 years ago when he first set up his business on Coruscant, whatever, in case he ever needed to disappear and made somebody angry. So I received the message, deleted him, and then the exchange contacted me, asked me to unerase portions of what I had erased, which I can do sometimes. But basically, it was a weird thing because I didn't really have a problem with anybody finding him because I didn't really like what he was doing anyway. But now that I realized it, I think that may have made things worse for you all. And
Why do you care?
Well, I don't like to cause problems for people, especially since after that, Aelond, you reached out with that whole alias thing, like, please erase me, but it wasn't you because you were just trying to figure out who I was. Fairly clever, except I do my research, so, that wasn't really gonna work on me, but I appreciate the effort, and let me get into contact with you, so let us be here. It's a lot easier than me trying to send somebody, track you down, do all that stuff. I can just talk to you, commute directly. It worked out pretty
you
well.
You talk really fast.
Oh, sorry. I'm used to just my brain, computers, sending out text messages to people. I got a lot of stuff going on, and what we're talking about kind of important. So I think, yeah. Anyway, okay. Does that part make sense? Before I move on, because apparently I talked fast. There's a lot to cover because I've dug up a lot of stuff that I think directly relates to all of you.
So far, you've been making sense, at least to me. Kalani, Lexa.
What is your interest in all of us?
Well, I didn't have really an interest per se until, that whole request of, sometimes the exchange wants me to unerase people, and most of the time I say no, but, in that case, it didn't seem like a bad thing if he didn't make it off the Coruscant. But no, what was really interesting was, because you helped me out in that instance, and Aelond reached out to me, so then I did some digging on you, Aelond, and your past, and your ties with the exchange. Well, not your ties, your dealings with the exchange would be a more accurate way of putting it.
It would.
So, something caught my eye then. So I did some digging, and I think that whole thing, letting you find Earth, led to that whole giant thing, as far as I can piece together, of you being framed for murder and being imprisoned. So I went with that knowledge, trying to figure out why that would happen. So I guess you getting imprisoned was sort of incidentally my fault.
My earphones broke and I just couldn't hear anything for like the past 2 minutes after I asked my question. Like, I asked my question and all of a sudden Kyla's mouse and we went like, I can't hear you. I could still hear the music from Roll20, but I just couldn't hear anything through Discord.
Technology! Love it! Yay! Until you want to murder it with a knife. And sometimes a spoon.
You seem like you feel bad about it, though.
Okay, so basically he's saying he did really care, and then Aelond tried to reach out to him through an alias, and they did some digging on his backstory, and then kind of was witnessing events as they were unfolding, because he was trying to figure out what was going on. That's basically what he said in the 2 minutes you missed. Did you hear that? Is that?
I heard that part, yes.
Good.
Okay. So.
Technical difficulties. There's always something.
So you got that. All right. It's like, okay. So we've got that. So I started doing some digging, right? So I noticed in my investigations a woman named Elora in your past supposedly died in an explosion, some bombing that the exchange had connections to. But something kind of clicked in my brain. So I went back to a job I did a couple months ago. And, well, here, let me take you through this. So the first one I noticed was the obvious one. The exchange started asking me to erase people. I didn't really look that closely at them. It was just simple stuff. I had some other stuff to do at the time. Sometimes I dig more. Sometimes I dig less. Depends on how hard the job is. But here, and hologram pops up of 3 different people that look very much like Elora. One you recognize as dressing in the uniform that you saw Emma in on board the ship.
All right.
So we've got these 3 people that they asked me to erase. And I didn't realize they were all the same until I remembered seeing, well, this one is pretty close to home. You know, Taris, on the space station, I guess. You're familiar with this one. Emma Raelius. She was killed by you because she was trying to kill you, I think.
Yeah.
Kind of fuzzy on the details, but that's kind of what I surmised from my digging. Yeah, so that was interesting. So that one they asked me to do first, but then a couple days later, they asked me to erase the histories of these 2 other ones. This middle one, actually named Elora. She was a slave girl on Nalhutta, Kuba the Hutt. She was killed in ostensibly in a crossfire between bounty hunters, dead. So I wiped her identity from HoloNet. Didn't really see much. Really, erasing dead people is a lot different than what I usually do. It's a lot less complicated. Witness protection or some other things. So they're still alive. It's a lot more complicated. Anyway, and then this one closest to home. Emily Murkrow, wife of Jonathan Murkrow. He was the High Duke of Trade on Taris. They were both killed in an apartment fire, basically at the same time. And so what I realized was, why are these all happening at the same time? And they're also related to you while this other stuff's happening. So I went back and I was trying to figure out what was going on. So I did some digging. And I discovered something that I thought might be tangentially related. There was a warehouse on Nar Shaddaa. That was a cloning facility that was run by the Exchange. Run by a man named Hedredi Var. He throws up another picture. This time it's a Quarren. He doesn't look very friendly. He looks fairly intelligent, but kind of cruel. So he was in charge of this cloning facility and some other infiltration ops for the Exchange, sabotage of other organizations, things like that. He hasn't been seen since that fire, so that whole facility burned to the ground. I'm not sure if you were aware of that at all.
Not yet. Don't think I know of that one.
Shyalu and Lexa. This sounds vaguely familiar. You went to a warehouse when you first landed on Nar Shaddaa that was burned to the ground, and you found biotech stuff and the unidentified corpse of an aquatic species.
Yes, that was why I raised my hand.
Oh, sorry. I have my notes up. I can't see you. Sorry. I only have 2 screens. I have a lot of details to keep straight, and I want to make them say something wrong. Because some of the stuff Kyrath did, and be like, "That's not right, Kylar."
Name, please.
And that is totally how he sounds too.
Name, please.
Yeah, a perfect impression.
Name? Hedredi Var.
That was the name of the man that ran the cloning exchange?
Yeah, the Quarren who ran the cloning facility. So I kind of traced that back to, I think, well, what I assumed now was that I kind of dug back, and it looked like somebody had constructed histories for all 3 of these people. And so I was able to kind of figure out a time range. So I think what we're looking at here is a bunch of clones of Elora, which was fascinating to me. So I realized, well, they have to have some sort of genetic material, right? So I did some digging back further. And I think the man who actually ordered this whole thing was a man named Jarek Canal. I think he's still on Nar Shaddaa, I believe. Is that correct?
He's dead now.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Okay, so we won't get any answers from him.
Okay. Didn't realize he was dead, but that makes sense.
Didn't-
Don't you remember when I was like gagging and stuff?
That was a couple of weeks ago.
I very much remember that. It was kind of disturbing.
Sorry.
Sorry, that
so,
was a couple of weeks ago.
So we're not going to get any information from him. Okay. That's a little unfortunate. I was trying to track down the lead scientist on the project because the Corn Andretti was mostly administrative oversight, not the actual scientist behind the work. Last known whereabouts around Ventuine, but that's a war zone right now. So I don't really feel inclined to go there. I'm not sure it'd be useful anyway. Haven't been able to track her down recently anyway. So I tracked it back. So I think Jarek originally ordered this whole thing. But anyway, I realized that they had to have genetic material of some sort. So I was wondering, well, maybe the real original Elora didn't die in the explosion, or maybe they got it from something else. That is basically what I did was first I was trying to figure out why on earth it used clones of her. I can't quite figure that one out. I don't know if you would have any sort of idea about that, Aelond?
Not off the top of my head. It's I never even considered that there would be multiples. I figured they were all part of a large family. Yes. Some humanoid species are like that, so I figured that's what it was.
I don't think that's the case, based on what I've dug up. I think they're all clones of the original. What I tried to do was see if maybe she didn't die in the explosion that she was supposedly died in. And I don't think she did. And I actually tracked her here to Taris. And a couple weeks ago, I sent Theodore and some mercenaries. And we extracted the woman that I believe is the original Elora. Now, why did I send you that second message? Based on footage I got from around the warehouse, and people coming in, going out, time frame of the clones appearing. I thought there was one clone that was still out there. So since I thought I had the real Elora, I figured I should probably tell you that that I don't think the other Elora is the real Elora. Does that make sense?
But she seemed to recognize him. She even called him by his name.
That is interesting.
Correct. This is quite the...
I mean, Aelond, did she not seem as though she knew you?
To a large extent, yes.
But didn't the other ones seem to be believing that they were the person that they said they were?
That, yes. Raelius thought she was Emma Raelius all the way through. Until whenever she decided, whatever triggered her to try to kill me. Which I tried to stop, by the way. Peacefully.
So, perhaps then
I mean, you can claim that.
Stop stabbing me! Pew! Stop stabbing me! Pew! Stop stabbing me! Pew!
It's almost as though perhaps they are programmed with this. Perhaps it has always been why else clone someone close to Aelond if not to use them to get to him. And then when they were close enough to strike.
See, that is my running theory. That Jarek is trying to get to you in some capacity, Aelond. But why, I don't know. I think that's between you and, well, now Jarek's dead, so between you and nobody.
Well, I was investigating a lot of stuff, particular to the deaths of my parents, but I was about to back off of it before the explosion.
Well, it seems that he chose poorly then. Well, my other thing is, if the sleeper agents who are clones really believe they are who they say they are, then the exchange must have some means of implanting some sort of memories into these clones. And obviously it's some sort of rapid aging, which you should be able to tell if you run a genetic test. You got telomere shortening, all this other stuff. You'd be able to tell that they were the clones. Which is another reason I think I have the original. She doesn't show signs of rapid aging. Which, if we examine the other one, we might be able to see that. Hopefully, that might make things clearer.
That would. Lexa, do you have any way of contacting Raydik, see if he can't get a test like that done? Or...
Yeah, yeah. If you'll just wait a moment, I'll go contact him in the hallway there. I'll be right back. And I go out.
Yeah, the door will open for you.
I wait for the door to close. And I kind of pace up and down a little bit for like a minute or two before I finally call Raydik.
Lexa, what can I do for you?
I'm calling to update you on what we've found. We found the eraser. He seems to be a Verpine. You probably know more than I do. Seems handy with technology. He believes that Elora, the one we have, is a clone of the original, and that this has been something that's going on for quite some time. He would like to find a way to test Elora to see for rapid aging, our Elora, to see if she is the original or a copy. Can you provide a way for her to come here?
Oh, we should just need a DNA sample for that, as far as I understand it.
Yes.
I could send the data. I don't think we need to have her sent. It might be trickier to get her to agree to that. But if you want me to send her there, I could do so.
Yeah. I think that would...
Just
That would
ask
work.
to borrow my jacket. She's probably left a hair on it by now.
I lose my train of thought. Raydik, what do you know about clones?
Well, there's a lot of research going into it. A lot of it in secret. It's not exactly found to be an ethical thing to do among most people. So you get...
Hidden.
So you get criminal organizations attempting it. Probably the Sith. I wouldn't be surprised if the Republic military was attempting it as well.
Oh, joy.
I don't...
But
I'm sorry. I don't mean how they're constructed, I can imagine, but... Can they be programmed to do things?
well, anyone can be programmed to do things. They're not so different from you and I in that respect.
No, they're not.
But if he's talking about rapid aging, their minds would be, I think, more susceptible to that as their full maturity, but with no knowledge to back it up. If they had some sort of method of encoding something into their brains, I suppose it would give them more control over how the clones thought than if they were brought up and taught during traditional methods. I think it would be I haven't done it myself, so I can't be sure that is the case, but
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm thinking about something else, but, thank you. I'm sure you'd know best whether to send Elora or to send something of her that we could test. I'm sure you could come up with a good excuse for her to come. If even as simple as telling her that Aelond is here.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
What's your initial read of the Eraser? What's he doing?
Well, he talks too much and too quickly, but I think his head is mostly within himself. I don't know. He said that he doesn't wish to harm anyone, but he erases identities, and apparently if he's paid enough, he unerases them. He seems more neutral than either good or evil to me.
It's not surprising based on what I've known of his work, but I'd hoped that it would become a little clearer if you had met him. Oh well, no matter. I'll see what I can do. Good luck.
You would probably have better luck speaking with my companions when we get back. They have ways of intuiting intentions better than I.
I bet the Jedi has seen into their thoughts. That's a good point. Anyway, stay safe. Good luck. I'll see what I can do about getting at least a DNA sample.
All right.
He'll hang up.
And then I will return.
So, hey, Aelond, what are your thoughts on this whole thing?
My question would be why. I could see the uses for it. From what I could tell, flipping of the switch, psychological switch, it could create the perfect assassin. But it's one of those things where it's hard to tell. For nefarious purposes, that's what I would go with, is natural assassin. Who would suspect the Count, or in the case of Taris, the Admiral's wife, of being an assassin?
Well, yes, I do think that the locations of most of them were such that they would be useful to the exchange as a whole. Position of, the Duke of Trade's wife, that's large. Putting one of them as a slave girl in the huts on Alhada. It still felt personal, though. I don't know exactly how you found the one on Nar Shaddaa that you did, but
well, the one we found in Nar Shaddaa was dangled, so to say, in front of us.
The ship redirected itself once it knew you were on the asteroid, and we found out later it was at her behest. It seems as though they are programmed to hone in on you.
Well, the real question is, why make them disappear? I don't understand that.
So that people wouldn't realize that they're all the same.
They're spread out enough that would likely never be the case, unless somebody was actively looking. So it must have been something. And if it was designed just to cover their tracks, why use someone so close to someone who has actively investigated in the past? Right? That doesn't make logical sense. Maybe it was an emotional response from Jarek. Maybe he was trying to just personally get back at Aelond, because if I was to make clones to infiltrate places, well, A, I wouldn't make them all look the same, and B, I wouldn't choose to clone somebody who was directly linked to somebody who was investigating me in the first place. That seems to me to be a bad plan, I think. Although I don't really think like most people, so I guess maybe it's a good plan. Anybody think it's a good plan? Kyra thinks it's a boring plan.
I just think this is all horrifying.
I agree with you. It sounds more like it's almost an emotional reaction, like something inside whoever ordered this totally just wanted to, in this case, since it's Elora, probably hunt me, which is odd. All I've been doing, or all I had done, was investigate the mysterious death of my parents, and that was about it. And caused them a little trouble at the spaceport, which on Nar Shaddaa means they go to a different spaceport.
Aelond, is there anything you're not telling us about what you found, about any of your connections with the exchange? Did you find something, possess something that they desire or want?
As far as I can tell, no.
What happened?
They are probably more
Did you
upset.
do anything?
Did I do anything? Yeah, I did.
Did you do anything to upset them before that?
Before the event, other than be a general nuisance and stop some of their trade, interrupt some of their shipment supplies, investigate the death of my parents, that's it. If I can remember my backstory correctly, that should be it. There's a line in there, isn't there? Somewhere.
So, if you can't think of another reason why they would choose her, then I guess it must have been a personal vendetta sort of thing. But I guess so you didn't think you made him that mad, but I guess you made him that mad. But I'm surprised. I told you I broke out the real one. You haven't even asked about her.
I was getting to that one. Is she okay?
The real...
She's fine. She's here, actually.
Can I see her?
As long as you promise you're not going to shoot her in the face.
So long as she doesn't stab me, I don't plan on shooting her in the face.
Great. We should have no problems as long as my research indicating that she's the real one is true. Then we should have no problems. Okay. All right. Nobody else is going to go crazy and shoot people, right? We're just people having a... Right? We're good. This is expensive equipment. I don't need it all shot up blaster fire.
You're getting a look there.
I don't plan on...
Okay, I wouldn't expect the Jedi to go
to
shooting. Okay.
Start killing people.
Okay. We're all on board. Okay, no killing. It's not... Okay. Unless, the exchange busts in here, no killing. You can kill the exchange people. Because if they found me, that'd be really bad. I have other plans. Don't need them interrupting plans. Plans are good. I like plans. Anyway, I'm sorry. Right. Press the button on this thing. Door to the... to my slow computer doesn't actually do anything.
The door's going like this.
Sorry, new building, glitches.
Now that reminds me of the Outer Worlds trailer. Doors coming down. Stops. He's like, no. Open.
Sorry.
Open. Open.
Alright, so a door to the right corner opens. And Elora walks out.
What's behind door number 3?
Death. Death is behind door number 3. Clearly, that's always what's behind door number 3. Death.
Yeah, that's why you always go with door number 4.
If there is a fourth door, and if there's not one, you bust a hole through the wall. You make a fourth door.
Yep.
So anyway, steps out. Looks at the assorted party, but really kind of ignores most people and just looks at Aelond. Aelond, it's really you.
Is it really you?
As far as I know, it's really me. Although from what the erasers told me, I'm not sure that means much to you.
There's not much I know of that could prove anything other than your own memories.
But if the other one that you found has my memories, I don't know. I've been unconscious for some of the time they had me prisoner. I don't know what they did, but I don't know if I'll ever be able to prove to you that I'm really me. If Jarek wasn't already dead, I'd grind him into dust myself.
Of that, I understand. I almost turned him into paste, but thought better of it for a moment.
You shouldn't have.
Is she supposed to know that he's dead?
She could hear this whole conversation, so.
Okay.
She's psychic.
But does Kalani know that she could hear that whole conversation?
Kalani busts out her lightsaber. This is it!
Oh, goodness.
You're just like, wait
No.
a minute, I used to be
No,
working
please.
on
I
that.
said no fighting, people. No fighting.
PTS.
No.
No fighting. Anyway, so you shouldn't have thought better of it. But the erasers promised to make us both disappear if we want.
It's at about this point, I jump over the hollow thing. I might even walk on it, and I just grab her and hug her.
Yeah, she'll jump. All right, we're hugging on top of the hollow thing. And
Oh, there's
the
no
eraser's
other
like- the
possible
eraser's
way to
looking
walk around the room.
No.
like he's about to say something, and he's like, no, never mind. I won't say it. But he doesn't look happy.
Stand on the furniture.
That is
The eraser kind of motions to you, Theodore. Like it's just he's got like a hand on his head. He's just like it's fine. Like whatever, it's fine.
Lexa does jump a little bit, not expecting that voice to come out.
From behind you.
I do have one thing that's bothering me. Why go through all this trouble just to get Aelond? Bounty hunters are cheap. You could easily hire hunters and assassins to go after one man. The exchange has no limits of resources. Why go through all this trouble?
Well, I think what I can gather is so the whole thing with having clones of Elora programmed to kill him if they ever found him was sort of a personal thing, and someone somewhere for some reason decided that was a mistake. I don't know if Jarek decided it was a mistake, somebody else decided it was a mistake, but it all precipitated after Aelond ran into Emma, and so I think somebody was worried that he was going to start digging into something, and I don't know what they were trying to dig into. I don't know if it was just this small connection that doesn't really seem like something necessary to completely burn from the face of the galaxy. To me, anyway, I've seen a lot worse things that the exchange is perfectly willing to just let out there. So I think that they were trying to cover their tracks in a way that would take Aelond off the board without anybody realizing what had happened. So they orchestrated the whole thing on Coruscant to get him into their own hands so no one would ever know what happened to him. And so he would just be a missing prisoner who was on Coruscant, and we don't know what happened to him. And instead of, sending bounty hunters is pretty obvious. You can find the bounty hunters, ask who hired them, and things like that. If you get the Coruscant police to arrest him for seemingly, a crime, and then you have connections in the police force to smuggle him out, then there's no questions to be had. But as you demonstrated, that plan didn't really work out well for them. Or for a lot of people. But I think does that make anybody have any, I don't know, that's my running theory anyway. But I don't know who it is. I've been looking. I can't find anything. Ooh, Shyalu is typing. Ooh.
Have you tried looking into the death of my parents?
What?
That's all he does.
What did you say, Aelond? What did Aelond say?
Have you tried looking into the death of my parents?
Vaguely. It didn't really seem like there was much there. I'm sorry. It just didn't seem important enough. There's something else. I don't know what it is.
All right. It's
And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it has something to do with the cloning facility. If it had something to do with what you were doing, what Jarek was doing. I don't know. But now Jarek's dead, so we can't ask him. And I don't know if anybody else in the exchange would really know what he was up to. If it was something secret that he wanted to keep safe. But I think we need to keep looking. But if it really is, if there is some reason that they need both of you dead, I would highly suggest disappearing. Let somebody else figure it out.
Elora, what do you want to do? Do you want to disappear, or do you want to find the weirdos who are doing this?
Well, there's still the matter of the me who's not me on Nar Shaddaa, right?
It's not really too much of a matter. She's in the hands of a friend right now.
Yeah, but what do we do if she has memories from me, and she thinks she is me? That's kind of a
curse.
Well, it's not her fault, right? It's Jarek's fault. But if she's programmed to kill you like the others were, she's dangerous.
Since she was the one that Jarek dangled in front of me during the events at the arena, it is entirely possible that she is definitely planning on killing me at least the first chance she gets.
But what if it's something that she doesn't even consciously know? What if it's like a trigger and she's me, but me who's programmed to kill you at some point in the future, you know?
Then we need to find a purpose for her.
How did I get teleported into a little tiny room all by myself?
And the lights go out.
That's what I thought it was.
The proximity. Oh no, I've distracted. We have the HoloNet. Theodore, stay there at the door, please. We should find out what's happening.
I can still see everything, right?
You should be able to. Can you not?
Oh yeah, no, I can still see. I was just double checking that I'm supposed to.
Yes.
What's going on?
See. So yeah, it's pitch dark. I think somebody's cut the power.
Sword.
Blaster's.
Yeah.
Plural.
Yeah, Blaster's coming out, and I'm grabbing a hold of Elora's hand.
I'm taking out Bloodseeker.
All right.
I will wait for everyone else to provide sources of illumination.
That's a brilliant plan.
Stay close to me, Elora.
I tell R1S to climb up to the ceiling and ready his blasters.
Okay.
Because he has magnetic feet now.
Is the music playing for people? Because I can't hear anything.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it is.
Cool. I just can't hear it. That's sad. That's boring.
It's very sad and very boring. Just do what I do and just have.
Being awesome.
I'm still trying. I'm still reading.
Preparing for combat.
Yep.
I regret everything now. No, I don't.
You should. You should.
I don't, because it's great. Come on, character sheet open so I can roll initiative, please. Everybody else roll initiative, please.
Okay. That sounds good, GM.
Alright,
Thought it sounded good.
pushing the initiative button.
Oh,
Yay, nat 1.
that's not who it's supposed to be. No, it's not linked to the
So
right
sorry,
character
Shyalu.
sheet. Hold on a second.
That was a pretty good roll for me. That's a really good roll for Lexa as well.
Okay, two-part question. How long is this going to continue going for? And are we going to take a break, or should I just go get more water right now?
You should go get more water right now, because, well, it's getting late-ish, so we're probably gonna do a little bit and then stop. And so you should go get water while I try and fix my
How about
character
we
sheet.
take the break now?
Yeah, sure. Take the break now, right before combat. Sounds good.
Shyalu, you have failed me.
Why?
Because my skill relies on us all beating the enemy's initiative, and that's not gonna happen with you rolling a 1.
Oh. What skill relies on all beating the enemies?
If I have the skill that if we all beat the enemy's initiative, we get a surprise round on them.
Oh, that's cool.
It is,
Well,
but
it
you
would
have
be
to not
cool.
roll a 1.
It would be cool.
Well, does anyone have anything that lets me re-roll initiative?
Forcefully?
No.
Oh, go take
let's-
breaks. Go.
Okay.
Go. Breaks, because I need to fix something.
In that case, stream will
I
be
love
back in 10 minutes. Let us get everything organized and whatnot and take care of a few things, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.